Hey you guys, I'm here today and I decided that I was going to do a video, and the theme that I chose for this video is communicating with spirits, and that's why I'm here in this vehicle doing my video. Just in case you're wondering, I'm going to explain a little more in a moment, but before I get started, I do want to cleanse the space. To be honest, I really don't feel that there's a need for a cleansing because we are in the vehicle, but we're outside in a sense too. But like I always tell you guys, it's really important to cleanse no matter what you're doing, talking, teaching, doing spell work, meditation. It's very, very crucial to cleanse. And to begin with, I said I wasn't going to use the incense because of being in the vehicle, and I just didn't feel like that was really smart or safe. But that is my preferred method of cleansing, and I figured since I'm here, I'm not going to leave it unattended, that I don't think it'll hurt to use the incense. So that's what I'm going to do. I have a couple other tools that I brought with me as well, but I'll get into that in a moment. I've got a sandalwood incense that I'm using today, and sandalwood is a good incense to use for protection and for cleansing, among other things. But I chose the sandalwood incense because I used one not too long ago with a friend of mine, so it was just kind of still fresh in my mind, the sandalwood, so that's why I chose it basically. But I've been going through a lot, and I know most of you are aware that I did lose my son back in the beginning of December, and even though I feel that I'm doing better, I'm continuously healing, I'm not completely healed, and I know I'll never be completely healed. But just last week, I lost someone else that is close to me, and this woman, she was no blood relation to me, but yet we refer to her as grandma. And she was someone I met through my YouTube videos a while back, and we just clicked, and we we formed a friendship, a kinship, and I fell in love with this lady, and she became my mentor. And she recently passed. She had a few health issues, and I'm not gonna get into that, but she her body basically gave out, and she passed away. And I figured with her passing and the process of me still trying to heal from losing my son, I'm sure there's someone out there that's going through a similar um, issue. And I'm going to try to get through this video without boo-hooing, and I'm going to try to stay on track, and I'm going to try to keep myself composed. But if I tend to stray, you guys, please forgive me. It's a tough subject. It's a touchy subject, I guess you could say. I also brought a little bit of spray, and I'm just going to spray just a dab of it. It's just something that I have grown accustomed to with my incense, with my sprays, with my crystals. We all have our little, you know, do's and don'ts that we always incorporate into our craft, and that's just a few of mine. And I'm just gonna spray a little bit around in the truck. And I'm sure my son is somewhere right now rolling his eyes, saying something to the effect of, there's my mom doing that witchy stuff, or there's my mom doing that crazy stuff. But it is what it is. I brought my rose quartz wand, and the reason I chose it is because rose quartz is known for love, and I just feel like for this, discussion, that we want to do it in light and love. We're going to be talking about communicating with spirits. And, you know, I thought long and hard before I chose this theme because I didn't want anyone to take anything that I said or suggested and used it in a negative way, because, anytime you are working with spirits, you have to be careful, because you may be seeking out a loved one, but that necessarily isn't the one that's going to always come through. So I figured, rather than, just let people run blindly into the dark, that maybe I could offer some of my wisdom that I've learned along the way to someone else. And maybe I can offer some advice, based on some of my experiences and some of the mistakes that I've made. And that's why I went ahead with this theme for today. So I decided to bring the rose quartz into it because of the factor of love. And I think that anything that you do in the light of love is going to be a positive work. And this too, I really, really want to be of a positive work. So I'm just going to take and I'm going to use my wand to send you some energy of love, of self-love, of love of others, love of lost ones, love lost ones. I'm already getting tongue-tied. And love of learning, love of accepting things that, have hurt us and that have caused us pain. And you may say, how can you love such a negative feeling or such a negative emotion? But it's not the emotion of pain that I'm seeking that you love. It's the experiences, it's the knowledge that you may have gained, after going through pain, because with pain there is, strength. With pain, there is wisdom. Those things that are the hardest for us to overcome are the things that in turn make us stronger. So sometimes a negative can become a positive, and I guess that's why I say for the love of the pain, because, you know, you can take any experience and turn it into something better than it was before. You can be better today than you were yesterday. And you don't have to do, big giant steps. You can take little baby steps. Just as long as you're taking steps, that's all that matters. And I guess that goes along with that saying, you have to crawl before you walk. Well, this topic right here is one of those things that you have to crawl before you walk, because when we go through things that cause us pain, it's very hard to overcome. It's very hard to learn from it. It's very hard to take that negative and make it into a positive, but it can be done. I'm living proof. I have been through so much negative in my life from, my childhood up until this point. And I'm not trying to brag and say, look at me, or I'm not trying to get your pity. I'm just saying that, as a child, I experienced a lot of heartache. I'm not even going to go into all of that, but I experienced, mental abuse, physical abuse, even sexual abuse. And at one point in my life, I could not even open my mouth to share that with you, just to tell you that I experienced that. I couldn't do that. But I'm at a point in my life, and I've healed enough through shadow work and through the love of a great guy and, a great friend, and through the goddess herself, I have healed. I'm not completely healed by no means, but I have healed enough to be able to open up and to share with you and admit that I experienced these negative things, and I'm still here today, and I'm getting by. I'm not always, at my best. I don't always, carry on in such a positive manner. I break down, I cry, I get mad, I scream, I throw things. I'm human, but I can actually admit that I experienced these things and I'm still standing. And if you ask me, that is a great feat. That is turning that negative into a positive. So I just wanted to share that with you guys as well. And that's exactly what I meant when I said, using this rose quartz to, shed the light of love on pain, that pain is love. I know that pain is not love by no means, but what I'm saying is you can turn any type of hurt, any type of pain, any type of negative, you can turn it into a positive, in some way, shape, or form you can. And I just wanted to clarify that, and I just wanted to share that as well. And, you know, that's the reason that I've started this channel, is to share and to grow, and in hopes of, evolving together. And, that's how we have to do. We have to reach out to others. We have to share. We have to, you know, teach, and we have to learn. And, if we want to find true happiness, if we want to find true love, self love, and love of others, we have to evolve. Because, if we don't evolve, if nothing never changes, how can anything, get better? So that's my reasoning for the rose quartz today. And I just wanted to send you guys some love, and I hope you're sending me some as well. But okay, moving on to our little talk on spirit communication. And like I said, anyone that has lost someone, you have come to that point after, accepting the fact that they're gone, and the fact that you're not going to see this person, not in this physical world again. Of course, your mind and your heart is going to go to the aspect of spirit communication. And I immediately went to there, when I lost my son, like within days of losing him, that was already on my mind. And like I said, I've had some experiences with spirit communication in the past, and I was naive, I was dumb, and I made mistakes. And those mistakes caused a negative occurrence to happen to me. And luckily, I had someone there in my corner. I had someone to listen to me. I had someone there to recognize what was going on and to tell me that the spirit I was communicating with wasn't who I thought it was. It wasn't who I wanted it to be. And then when I realized this, I was so bent on the idea of making contact with a certain individual, and it was someone that I loved dearly. And this spirit knew that, and they played on that. And this spirit came to me with the appearance of this person. When I saw this spirit, when I dreamed of this spirit, they looked like this person that I loved. And the thing about it was, the person that I was trying to make communication with in the beginning was my grandma. And then I made communication with a spirit, and I knew I made communication, and I knew it wasn't my grandmother that I was communicating with. But what this entity did was they appeared to me, and they did so with the appearance of a living person that I loved. And this living person at this point in my life, they were so far away that I couldn't physically be with them or physically see them, not in person. So what this spirit was doing was they were coming to me with the appearance of this person that I missed. And they never, tried to trick me or tell me that they were this person, but they tried to offer me affection. They tried to make me believe that they cared about me. And, I think I'm much smarter than that to fall for, just some simple basic lies. But when they came to me in the appearance of this person that I was, longing for, and I was missing this person so dearly, whenever I would see this spirit, and when I say see this spirit, it's not like this ghost was just, coming in and out of my home, or, it wasn't like that. For me, when I say I see things or I hear things, I usually, have my spiritual occurrences in my dreams. I'll dream of things or during meditation. And that's something I want to touch on too. The ways to make contact, but I'm trying not to jump the gun or get sidetracked. But anyway, I've been gifted with the ability to do what is called path working. And there's many names for things that we use, things that we do in our craft, but I was brought up with calling what I am gifted in as path work. And what it is, in a nutshell, is when you are able to see things in your dreams, when you are able to, during meditation, you can achieve a state of being that it's almost like you're meditating, but it's almost like astral travel during meditation, if that makes sense. Like having an out of body experience. You normally do that in your sleep. Well, when I say, path working, it's during meditation that I can have an out of body experience. Sometimes I can do this with the greatest of ease, and then sometimes I have to really, really focus and clear my mind, and it takes me several attempts to do it, and sometimes I can't do it at all. And then sometimes when I'm not even trying to do it, I'm just simply trying to meditate, or I can be watching TV or listening to a particular song or looking at a picture, and you zone out. Have you ever done that? You've been looking at something and you're so into that picture, or you're into that song, or whatever it is that you're actually looking at or listening to. You're just so into it that all that you can see, all that you can hear, all that even is in your mind is that particular thing you're looking at or listening to. You don't have any thoughts rolling around in your noggin. You're not singing the song. You're not thinking about it. It's just that in that moment, that song or that thing that you're looking at, that is the only focus you have, and you zone out. It's like you're there, you're physically there, but your mind isn't there. And that's what I mean when I say zone out. And I guess that's what path work to me is like when you can zone out, when you can, have an out of body experience while you're awake, during meditation. And, you know, I don't claim to know it all. I'm not, this great, educated or wise witch. I've learned a lot of my witchcraft practices and my beliefs and things of that nature, my spirituality. I've learned and picked up, from my grandmother. But as I got older and I learned, she helped me to realize that we all, we can teach each other ways, and we can give each other information and advice, and spread knowledge. But at the end of the day, what you do with it and how you work it is entirely up to you. And the way you go about deciding how to do that is you simply follow your heart. And when you do something, when you do a work, and it just feels right, it feels natural, and it goes the way it's supposed to go, you get results from the way you worked it, that's when you know that that's your way. And like I always tell everyone, follow your heart. If you don't know what something corresponds with, or you know what color coordinates with this, or in candle magic, or herbs, or oils, or crystals, it's fine to seek that knowledge. We have to learn. And we do that usually. We'll research, and in one way or another we'll get that information from some person, and that's fine, that's all good. But the way you use it, the way you work your magic, that should be entirely up to you. You follow your heart, and that's how you find your way. And like I always tell you guys, there's no right way, there's no wrong way. There's your way, there's my way, and that is our way. And that's simply how my grandma put it to me. And it still, after all these years, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, it's stuck in my head. So, with that being said, I just want to run through some of the do's and don'ts of spirit communication, spirit contact. There's quite a few ways that I'm aware of to make contact, and that's divination. That's through, you know, pendulums, tarot cards, Ouija boards. Some people use tea leaves. You can use any type of tool like that, but I don't recommend using any type of tool unless you're experienced in using that tool, because that's the mistake I made with the Ouija board. And I'm going to say entity came through to me, and they presented themselves as a friend, as a person basically, and they tried to make me think that they loved me and they cared about me. And they did so by appearing to me in the form of someone I love very, very much. And at that point in time, I was missing this person so desperately, and I couldn't see this person, and I couldn't be with this person, and they knew that. That was my weakness, and they knew that. And luckily, this person that I care so much about, they saw what was going on, and they put their foot down, because even though I knew that this entity did not have my best interest at heart, I still could not just walk away because of the appearance that they were presenting themselves with. And you may say, well, you were just being stupid, but if you haven't been through the situation, it's hard to say, but I'm just sharing my experience with you. So please be careful with using tools. And if you're not experienced with using a certain tool, I suggest you don't even use that tool. Um, and if you do have tools, or you've made up your mind that you're gonna, you know, proceed with communicating, there's just like 5 things I suggest that you do, and that's always cleanse. I always cleanse. Um, Protect yourself, whether you do it with crystals or chants, or calling upon the goddess. And I recommend that. Goddess Hecate is a good goddess to call on for protection, but to each their own. um know who you're talking to, because just like with me, you may be calling out to one individual and someone else can come through. And that goes along with my fourth piece of advice: is don't trust spirits. Just like people will lie to you, spirits will lie to you. There's good and bad of everyone, of everything. There's good spirits, bad spirits, and anything or anyone that is at a low vibration, that's what they seek, is to get to a higher vibration. Because when you're at a higher vibration, you have more energy, you have more power, you have happiness, you are basically alive. And anything that's at a low vibration, that's what they seek, is to get to a higher vibration. And you, being a living, breathing person, you are already vibrating up here. And if you have love in your life, if you have happiness, anything that makes you feel good, that's going to make you vibrate even higher. And that's what they want. They want to feel alive. They want to have your power, your energy. So please be careful. Don't take everything at face value, because spirits will lie. Think about it. If people will lie, alive people will lie. Of course, dead people are going to lie. What have they got to lose? And, just my final, you know, suggestion is just be smart in anything you do. Be smart. If you're not familiar with working with a Ouija board, don't jump on a Ouija board, to begin with. Just be smart. Be careful when using tools. Only use the tools that you're experienced with. Stay focused. Trust your instincts. Always start out with a clear mind. Don't have any, you know, debris in there from yesterday, or an argument you had with so and so last week. Clear all that out, because the tiniest weakness, if it's a negative entity, they're going to zero in on your weakness, and that's what they're going to use. And if you're having dreams, about something, and it's a reoccurring dream, listen to those dreams. Just, and if you have any doubt or reservation at all, wait. don't do the don't do the spirit communication. Then, find a friend, find a mentor, find a teacher. Call out to the goddess. Just be smart, and don't let your grief, cause you to just act without thinking. Because believe me, I know. And I just want you all to remember what I said. You can take any negative and make it into a positive. Don't rush it. Be smart. And as always, if you believe, you will receive. And I hope something I said resonated with someone out there. Bye, you guys. Much love.